Have you ever felt a sudden chill in a room when you walk in? Maybe it's a friend who avoids eye contact or a coworker who brushes past you without a word. You might think, what did I do wrong? But often, the reasons people secretly dislike us have little to do with what we've done, and everything to do with who they are or how they perceive us. Today, we're diving deep into the 9 hidden reasons why people might harbor resentment or negativity toward you. Some of these reasons will surprise you. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the root of these feelings, but also learn how to rise above them, keeping your peace and self-respect intact. So stick around, because this journey isn't just about uncovering why people secretly hate you. It's about becoming the kind of person who can navigate these emotions with wisdom and grace. Let's face it, none of us are universally liked. Even the kindest, most well-meaning people have their critics. It's an inevitable part of being human. But what if I told you that understanding why some people might secretly dislike you isn't just about figuring them out? It's also a powerful opportunity for self-awareness, growth, and setting boundaries. We're not here to point fingers or play the victim. Instead, we'll uncover the subtle behaviors, attitudes, or perceptions that can cause others to harbor resentment or negative feelings toward us. Some of these reasons are rooted in envy, others, misunderstandings or unspoken expectations, and sometimes it's simply a reflection of their own insecurities. The Stoics remind us of a powerful truth. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand these 9 reasons, but also learn how to navigate them with dignity and wisdom. So, are you ready to take a hard but enlightening look at what might be causing tension in your relationships and how to handle it? Let's begin. Honesty is a virtue, but when it's wielded like a weapon, it can hurt more than it helps. Being brutally honest might make you feel righteous, but it often makes others feel small or criticized. People value truth, but they also value tact and timing. Imagine this. A friend shows you their new outfit, and instead of saying something constructive, you bluntly say, "It looks terrible on you." While you might think you're being helpful, your words can sting more than they guide. Why this happens? People secretly resent constant honesty because it puts them on the defensive. Instead of feeling supported, they feel judged or exposed. How to fix it? Practice considerate honesty. Before you speak, ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If your feedback doesn't meet these criteria, it's better left unsaid. You can still be truthful without being harsh. Competition can be motivating, but when it becomes a personality trait, it can push people away. If you constantly try to one-up others or turn every situation into a contest, you may unknowingly breed resentment. Picture this. A coworker shares their success at finishing a project, and instead of congratulating them, you reply, "Oh, that's great. I finished 2 projects last week." This shift from celebration to comparison makes people feel undervalued. Why this happens? Overcompetitiveness makes people feel like they're in a race they didn't sign up for. It turns collaboration into rivalry and creates unnecessary tension in relationships. How to fix it? Shift your mindset from competing to appreciating. Celebrate others' wins without comparing them to your own. If you feel the urge to compete, use it as a personal motivator rather than a public display. For example, tell yourself, "Their success inspires me to improve," instead of vocalizing comparisons. Everyone wants to feel heard. When you interrupt, dismiss, or zone out during conversations, people feel disrespected, and over time, this erodes their trust in you. Imagine this. A friend is opening up about a tough day, and instead of listening, you start scrolling on your phone or offering advice they didn't ask for. This small action can send a big message. You don't value what they have to say. Why this happens. Many people think listening is passive, when in reality, it's one of the most active forms of communication. It requires focus, empathy, and patience, which can be challenging when you're distracted or eager to speak. How to fix it. Practice active listening. When someone speaks, make eye contact, nod occasionally, and summarize what they've said before responding. For instance, say, "It sounds like your meeting was really frustrating," before diving into your advice. This not only shows respect, but also strengthens your relationships. People naturally gravitate toward relationships that feel balanced. If you're constantly asking for favors, borrowing money, or leaning on others without offering anything in return, it creates resentment. Picture this. A colleague helps you meet a deadline, but when they ask for assistance, you're too busy or unavailable. Over time, these small imbalances add up, and people begin to feel used. Why this happens. It's easy to overlook the imbalance when you're focused on your own needs or unaware of the toll it takes on others. But relationships, whether personal or professional, are a two-way street. How to fix it. Start by taking stock of your interactions. Are you contributing as much as you're taking? If not, look for ways to give back, whether it's offering help without being asked, showing appreciation, or simply being there when someone needs support. For example, if a friend drives you to work, surprise them with coffee or a kind note. One of the quickest ways to lose people's respect is by ignoring their boundaries. Whether it's overstepping in conversations, prying into private matters, or monopolizing their time, disrespecting boundaries makes others feel uncomfortable or trapped. Why this happens. Sometimes it's not intentional. You might be too eager to help or simply unaware of the signals others are giving. But even well-meaning actions can be perceived as intrusive if they cross someone's personal lines. How to fix it. Pay attention to verbal and nonverbal cues. If someone changes the subject, looks uncomfortable, or outright says they need space, honor their wishes. Communicate directly when in doubt. Ask, "Is it okay if I bring this up?" Or, "Let me know if you're comfortable discussing this." Building trust starts with respecting others' limits. Over time, they'll value your sensitivity and grow closer to you instead of pulling away. When people feel unappreciated, resentment can quietly build over time. If you consistently overlook or dismiss the contributions of others, whether at work, at home, or in social settings, it creates a perception that you take people for granted. Why this happens. Sometimes it's due to being overly focused on your own goals or challenges. Other times, you may assume people don't need validation. However, everyone appreciates recognition for their hard work or sacrifices. How to fix it. Make a habit of expressing gratitude. A simple, "Thank you for helping me out," or "I really appreciate the effort you put into this," goes a long way. Even better, acknowledge someone's contribution publicly when appropriate. It not only boosts their confidence, but also shows others you're a team player who values collaboration. People who feel seen and appreciated are far less likely to harbor negative feelings toward you. Constant negativity can be draining for those around you. If you frequently complain, whether about work, family, or life in general, it can make others associate you with stress and frustration. Over time, this leads to resentment and, in some cases, avoidance. Why this happens. You might not even realize you're complaining often. Venting can feel like a way to connect or relieve stress, but for the listener, it may feel like a burden, especially if it becomes a habit. How to fix it. 1. Practice self-awareness. Catch yourself when you're about to complain. Ask, "Is this something I need to vent about, or can I handle it myself?" 2. Limit complaints. If you do need to express frustration, Keep it brief and follow it with a solution or a positive takeaway. For example, instead of saying, "My boss is impossible," try, "I've had challenges with my boss, but I'm working on finding ways to communicate better." 3. Balance the conversation. Make sure your interactions aren't dominated by negativity. Share good news, ask questions, and focus on uplifting topics. Reducing complaints not only improves your relationships, but also helps you become more optimistic and approachable. People naturally avoid relationships that feel one-sided. If you're always taking, whether it's someone's time, energy, or resources, without reciprocating, resentment builds. Even if the person doesn't say it out loud, they may start to distance themselves or develop negative feelings toward you. Why this happens. You might not be aware of how much you're asking from others. It could be as simple as frequently seeking advice, but rarely checking in on the other person's well-being. Relationships thrive on balance, and when that balance tips too far, problems arise. How to fix it. 1. Show gratitude. Acknowledge the help and kindness others give you. A simple thank you can go a long way. 2. Be proactive in giving. Ask yourself, how can I add value to this relationship? It doesn't have to be material. Offering emotional support, sharing your time, or simply listening can make a big difference. 3. Recognize patterns. Reflect on your relationships and ask, am I contributing equally or am I taking more than I give? Make adjustments accordingly. When people see that you value them as much as they value you, the dynamic shifts. Mutual respect and appreciation foster stronger bonds. Striving for excellence is admirable, but when perfectionism takes over, it can push people away. Perfectionists often set impossibly high standards for themselves and others, which can lead to frustration, criticism, and strained relationships. People may feel judged or inadequate around someone who always demands more, even when their efforts are sincere. Stoic philosophy reminds us that perfection is unattainable. As Epictetus once said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Instead of focusing on perfection, focus on progress. Accepting imperfections in yourself and others fosters patience and understanding, which are essential for building meaningful relationships. For example, imagine working on a group project with someone who constantly critiques every detail, dismissing the efforts of others. Over time, this can breed resentment. However, someone who acknowledges effort, supports growth, and gently guides improvement earns respect and cooperation. The solution? Let go of the need for everything to be flawless. Embrace the beauty of imperfection and focus on the bigger picture. When people feel accepted and valued, they'll naturally be drawn to you, not driven away. Handling why people may secretly dislike you isn't about changing who you are to please everyone. It's about understanding how your actions and behavior affect others. The Stoics taught us to focus on what we can control: our choices, reactions, and attitudes. By recognizing these 9 reasons, you have the power to make adjustments that foster better relationships, build trust, and create a life of respect and connection. Remember, not everyone will like you, and that's okay. What truly matters is how you treat yourself and others. By practicing empathy, humility, and mindfulness, you not only reduce the chances of misunderstanding, but also create a sense of peace and self-respect that's unshakable. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Embrace these lessons, live authentically, and let your actions speak for themselves. Respect, after all, begins within. Have you ever felt misunderstood or sensed that someone secretly dislikes you? What do you think the reason might be? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. If these insights resonated with you, subscribe to John the Stoic for more life-changing wisdom rooted in timeless philosophy. Together, let's grow, reflect, and build a life of purpose and clarity. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join this journey toward a more meaningful life.